All right, let's give the other stream here just a second to get caught up. We'll be doing our usual going over the market. We'll talk a little bit about maybe what to expect the rest of the year. Well, there's really only one full week left. Um, but we'll go over the market, go over today's plays, talk a little bit about kind of what to look for next week, all right? So let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for December 23rd, 2021. We've been closed here for about 3 minutes, so we will get to see kind of how things finished up here. SPY up 0.61, Q's up 0.75, and IWM up 0.81. I wanted to see something resembling a pullback or a base coming into today. I made it clear we just can't be bearish anymore, but how do you get into something like this? The last thing I want to do would be to like play this breakout here and then immediately get, kicked back out when the way that this closed, right? So, it's you can be bullish, but that doesn't mean it's the right time to get in long either, right? So I think that was the thing that we were wrestling with. I don't think this rally back made it easy to get into. So what are we going to be watching for next week? We're bullish on the Qs and SPY, but for next week, I'm still expecting to see some kind of pullback. We've had an impressive move. We're still extended from the 20 MA here on the SPY and the Qs as well. Okay, so some pullback, but not expecting us to fall apart, not expecting us to go back to the lows, just because we're no longer bearish on this. Double bottom is following through so far. All right. I definitely expected a bit more weakness from the market, but that's the thing too, is that's why we use the charts. That's why we update our bias. That's we determine, okay, what would need to happen for us to be bullish or bearish, or if we're neutral, then we're neutral. And as soon as we saw that the lower high was getting taken out here, the 20 MA was getting broken, that's when we were okay. We can't really be bearish anymore. Okay, and so yeah, we haven't been bearish, but it's we transitioned on the hourly out of that downtrend. There's no other way to be really. So going into next week, bullish on the Qs and SPY overall. All right, and I said this in the room too, and this was a little bit of the approach that I took today. Still going to be focused though on relative weakness. Okay, especially with we're up this much. Right, sometimes you're going to get into some things long. If the market decides it's time to create the pivot and do the pullback, it might drag some of your longs with you. So today, that was my focus too. Was really to focus on relative weakness items. So you might have played this AYRO with me today. Not the most exciting. We played the breakdown, added to it on the way down, was waiting for this to break down again. It's kind of doing it in the after hours, but I definitely was expecting us to get more here. But it was fine. There was almost no way to lose money on this once you got in, because it just penny by penny and never would have trailed. I know, because I had the trail in the system. So this was good. That was fine. Weakness here on the daily. So, you look at the red bar that we put in today. You look at the daily, how weak this has been. Clearly a lot weaker than the Qs, SPY, or IWM. Now, the one that I missed was the Crocs. The Crocs was pretty good. Had already broken the 200 on the daily. And so there were kind of two ways to play the Crocs. One was the first one that I mentioned, but I saw that had like 30, 40 cent spread, so I let it go, was this sell setup in here. It was a sell setup, and then it even gave a secondary entry, meaning the sell setup triggered, and then it paused, got a little bit of a counter move, and then confirmed the first entry. So that's what you call secondary entry. You just put it underneath where the previous entry bar stopped, and then the stop is still the same up here. Okay, so that worked really nicely. And then there was another entry here on this breakdown. I think this is around the time that I started to focus on the AYRO, because I remember I was trying to get to the Crocs to work out the numbers, and it was already triggering and going. And then with the 30, 40 cent spread, it's going to feel really late if you come to it after it triggered. So that ultimately kept me out of it. Would have been a really, really nice play. So, just couldn't get to it fast enough. And then also, I think the spread created some hesitation there. But, that's the kind of thing that I'll be focused on. Now, if the gap ups are good, I expect some of them to still be on their own page as well. But with the market being up like this, multiple days up, I'm suspecting, especially come Monday, that if the thing that you're looking at is gapping up from 3 decent sized green bars, it's not going to be that nice of a pro gap. If it is a pro gap, it could be even a novice gap. Okay, but that's why I'm thinking gap downs are going to be the things I want to kind of start off with at the beginning of the week. Okay. All right. So for next week, there will not be any market wrap videos for next week. We'll pick back up on January 3rd. That's a Monday. If you're in the room, you should have gotten an email about this already. The room will be open, but it won't be moderated. So you won't necessarily have me or Sammy or James coming on the mic. So just be aware of that. Right, so people will probably still be there. People still show up and trade. We are open Monday through Friday of next week. The room will be, the market will be. Okay. Oh, and in case you didn't know, tomorrow's market's closed. Okay, in observance of Christmas. So today's the last day of the week. Market's closed tomorrow, and then no market wrap next week, and then we'll pick back up in the following Monday. Okay. All right, so yeah, a little bit hard to anticipate what we'll get through the entire week next week, okay? But at least for Monday, that's what I'm going to be focused on. Not much different than what was the focus for today, okay? Because really, it's kind of the same issue. We're just up a lot of bars on the daily here, and hourly is extended. So relative weakness items, if the market does pull back, those relative weakness items should get a nice boost to the downside, okay? All right, guys. Hope you had a good week and hope you have a wonderful holiday. And I will talk to you guys in the new year. All right. Have a good weekend and a good rest of the year.